Requests and comments from citizens. Pardon me, because we do have one that we can hear on. And this is each person will give 3 minutes to speak, and that's on anything you'd like. So I'll ask again: is there anybody who wishes to speak at this time? Yes, sir, and then your second. Okay.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is RandallBarrett. I'm from Central Point, Jackson County. I just want to take a few minutes to talk about the smart meter issue. I'm sure you're going to hear a lot about this today. What I want to share with you is some things that maybe are not being clearly aware to the people. The first thing is about the fact about the fire danger. The power company keeps trying to divert your attention to hot sockets and bad wiring, and they've been pulling these from fire scenes to hide the real cause. These meters themselves internally can and do overload. They're not properly overload protected, so they can catch on fire and burn your home down. So that's one risk that we need to consider. Another thing is the RF pulses. They're misrepresenting the truth on this. You've probably heard them say that they only pulse a few minutes a day, and so they're idle most of the day. The truth is that what they're doing is they're adding up the micropulses. They actually pulse every few seconds, 24 hours a day. It's a high-powered pulse. It's very short. But it's been proven that non-ionizing radiation like this does cause physical harm, and you're probably going to hear people testify about that today. So that's another issue that we need to be aware of, that these are pulsing all day long. It also emits these pulses over your home wiring, using it like an antenna, so there is harm to people in their home, not just outside the meter. The thing about the fees, you're going to hear a lot about this. I want to break it down for you so you get what's going on with these fees. You know the 137's been removed. It was an illegal fee. It was for a so-called future expense, so that's illegal. They pulled that, but it worked in bullying people and scaring them into not opting out. Then they get the meter on their home. They don't want it. They're upset. So now they're threatening them with a $169 fee to remove it and put a digital computerized meter on there. So why would they put one on for free, but then they're going to charge you a whole bunch of money to take that off? It's all bullying. The $36 fee is the one that's the most elusive and very illegal. If you look at the base rate rules that are on our Pacific Power bills, it says that it is included in there are meter reading expenses. They have not reduced the rates to anybody, so they're still getting that full revenue, but they're reducing their cost by putting on RF meters and cutting their routes and firing people. So there is no additional cost for the meters that they're still reading to pass on, as they're claiming, to the people that chose to have an RF meter. There is no additional cost to the Pacific Power at all to continue the meter reading. So they're misrepresenting that. That $36 fee is punitive, it's extortion, and it's illegal, as all the fees are that we believe. So when a government agency, the PUC, approves these fees and forces this on us illegally and says, you're going to put this thing on your house, we're going to get a computerized meter on your side of your house somehow, and you have no right to say no, the homeowner has no right if they're renting it out, all these things keep coming up. That should throw big red flags up for people when they're extorting you if you won't do what they say. So I know that you are very much in favor of the Constitution and protecting your citizens' rights, and so we're just asking for your assistance on this. I know your hands are tied in many ways on this, but we are going forward to fight the PUC and to get this illegal. They actually approved it without public input. You might be aware of that. So we're asking for your assistance in any way you can to fight the PUC and to get these computerized meters off of our home and back to the analog meters. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am?
Mr. Chair, before you go forward,
Yes.
I think it's important that we just discuss for a second. When you're coming forward, I struggle with this from a standpoint that what is it that I can actually do? And I think asking for that assistance is definitely key, but providing clarity to the board and the county about what action you're looking for the board, what other counties, boards of commissioners have done that would reflect, what you're petitioning. Going through all of the re-education, we had a presentation, is probably not everybody's most effective use of our time. The argument's there, and I totally get it. I just don't know necessarily, I don't serve on the PUC. I don't even know, unfortunately, anybody who does. I know people who serve on FERC, Federal Energy Regulatory Commissioner, the chair's a friend of mine, Neil Chatterjee. But I don't know what necessarily to do. So I don't want to waste a bunch of people's time here today by reiterating the mountain of evidence that there is that the smart meters have been thrust upon our communities. I totally feel that, and I think this board does too. But we struggle with what next, and I don't know necessarily what that is. So if people have that sort of testimony of what it is that they could request other than you guys along with the board, I suppose, petitioning the Public Utility Commission, that's where I would find that there's plowable ground. That's a good use of your time and testifying here today. We definitely get that the people are charged up. I don't think everybody here is for the code codification and is going to testify about that, as Councilor Hicks alluded to earlier. You're here about the smart meters. What we can do about it is really what we need to hear. Well, you've got to take your 3 minutes, and that's what I feel is constructive. I don't want to.
And we don't have the authority to ban them, so that's not what we're asking for. Specifically, the steps that we can take that would be beneficial. And I know some of you are here to do that, as far as say that thing. But again, we don't have authority over the Public Utility Commission. They're appointed by the governor. Petitioning the Public Utility Commission is the body that has the authority to change the fees and the implications there.
I don't want to discourage anybody from testifying. You're here.
Yeah.
This is
We're here to
your
listen.
time. But I just wanted to better utilize both of our times. So that's all I wanted to say, Mr. Chair.
Okay, going back. You first? Okay. You yielded?